We have already studied what friction is. Well, friction is produced when surfaces are made to move against each other. When two surfaces rub against each other, they cause friction. Just like in this example, you can see that the rubbing of the book and the table is causing the force of friction. Now let us see how this friction is created on a large scale. Look at this video. Here the famous luxurious car, limousine, has got stuck in a muddy hole. Why is this happening? This is happening because there is some unevenness on the road. And because of this unevenness of the road, the car is getting stuck. Well, not only in the case of cars, if you see anything around you, the surface of anything around you is not smooth. It has some or the other irregularities. Just like in this example. You can see there are irregularities between the block and the table over here. Now these irregularities sometimes get locked, and that is why there is difficulty in pushing things on a surface. So we can say that friction slows moving objects down. You can see that this goes and slowly it moves and then stops. Now there is another property of this friction, that is, it acts opposite to the direction of motion. Well, obviously, if you are moving something and you want to stop it, you'll always stop it from the other direction. If you want to oppose the motion that is coming from this side, you have to apply force in this side so that you can stop this. In the same way, force of friction acts opposite to the direction of motion. If the direction of motion is towards here, the force of friction acts opposite to this, and vice versa, where direction of motion is this way, so the force of friction will act this way to stop the direction of motion. Now suppose you're driving to your grandma's place and you have two ways in front of you, one which is full of mud and pebbles and one which is a smooth pitched road. Now you have to drive. Which road would you pick? Well, obviously the smoother one, because it is easy to drive on a smoother pitch than on a muddy and pebbled road. Why is this happening? Well, a rough surface actually provides more frictional force as compared to a smooth surface, because there is a lot of unevenness in this kind of street or road, and there is almost no unevenness on a smooth road. So it will be very easy to drive on this kind of roads. So we can say that a rough surface, actually what does it do? The motion of a car gets opposed to a large extent when we move on a rough surface because of lot of unevenness in this place. Now this unevenness creates a lot of irregularities, which creates difficulties for us to drive in such a road. Well, unlike the rough road, the smooth surface or the pitched road actually does not oppose a motion of the car. That is, the motion of a car is not opposed at all when we drive on a smooth road. Now suppose in our example of the limousine car, instead of that limousine car, a big truck had got into the hole or the muddy hole. What would have happened? A lot of force would have been required to get the truck out of the hole. Now that would require a lot of people here. Now what happens? Because the truck is very heavy, the unevenness between the tires of the truck and the muddy road gets locked very firmly because of the weight of the truck. That is why it would require a lot of force to get the truck out of the hole. So we can say that more the mass of the body, more is the frictional force acting on it. See? When we are moving one book, it's slided very easily. But more the mass, more is the frictional force acting on it. Well, there is one more property of friction, that is, the amount of frictional force does not depend on the area of contact of the surfaces. That means, let's take that example of this box. It has been kept horizontally here. Now if you push this or rub the surface of this box with this table, it will create some friction. Now that friction will be equal to the friction created when this box is kept vertically or slanted. So what did we learn? We learned that friction is produced when surfaces are made to move against each other, when they rub against each other. It slows moving objects down. Friction actually slows down objects and then the objects stop. It acts opposite to the direction of motion. Well, if you have to oppose any motion, you have to act opposite to it. A rough surface provides more frictional force as compared to a smooth surface. That is why we find easy to drive on a smooth surface instead of a rough or pebbled surface. More the mass of the body, more is the frictional force acting on it. Just like our example of the book, where we pushed one book and it slided easily, and when we are pushing 4 books together, it slides slowly as compared to pushing one book. The amount of frictional force does not depend on the area of contact of the surfaces, just like the example of our box.